Hey, it's Tim, Pickup Truck Plus SUV Talk. I got home from this event driving a new 4Runner with my managing editor, Jill Spinello, and realized an hour worth of footage. That makes no sense. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the TRD Off-road. We did a premium versus non-premium. We also talked about some SR5, kind of more your base level trucks. And the 4Runner, I'll put it in this video. Looking for the top end video, like the Platinum, a separate video for you on this channel. So let's go ahead and hop into this video, showing differences, what you get for the money, and a lot of good off-road footage.
Now we got a really great chance to check out the TRD Off-road Premium and non-premium. You get the question all the time, what the difference is. You can see them online and you can play with the build and price tool online, but seeing them in person is a whole lot different. So let's start, basically, the exterior is about the same.
Yeah.
There's no real differences. The interior is where it's at.
Yeah, the exterior is pretty much the same. The one difference that I did notice between the two vehicles is you actually have, you know, the keyhole here on this door versus, you know, the more of the passive entry on this over here.
Okay. There's differences there. So let's go, I guess, I'll flip the camera around a little here. We'll go inexpensive first. So what you start with, we have manual adjustment seats.
Yes.
Cloth.
Yes.
We have no heated steering wheel.
You do have a heated steering wheel.
In this one we do?
You do have a heated steering wheel. You have heated seats, no ventilated seats.
Okay.
You have wireless charging. You do have a digital display, but your screen is going to be smaller.
The 8-inch screen.
Yeah.
No JBL Flex in premium also, or non-premium, which is a small portable speaker. So that is what this looks like. I do like heated cloth seats a lot. It's nice, especially in the summertime.
Yeah.
You don't burn your legs in the hot seats, and in the wintertime they heat up really nice.
Yeah, and now the other difference that I really just noticed also is you're not going to have the around view camera on this because you don't have you can see on the bottom of this mirror, you don't have the camera. Whereas on the bottom of the off-road premium mirror,
you have the camera there.
You have the camera. So you're not going to have the around view camera angles that you would get on the premium versus the non-premium.
Okay, let's go to premium real fast and look at the premium version. So this looks like, so Toyota does
this side has a keyhole.
Oh, it does?
Yeah. So weird. Like the, okay,
passenger side,
sorry.
maybe just driver's side.
Yeah.
So this is soft text seats. It's a kind of leather, but it's not leather. It's a fake leather. It has a feel of it. I had a Tundra with them. I really liked it over time. The power adjustment there. There's our JBL Flex speaker. There's our bigger screen. The TRD on the shift knob is different in the premium. And then we have wireless charger, heated and cooled seats in this one as well. And then this has got all those cameras, which we'll talk more about off-road, or we did talk more about off-road on this model. And a sunroof too. There's basically your differences between non-premium and premium. And you can see the JBL speakers as well, right there. But there's one more thing I want to talk about differences here, and this is something I felt, is my butt. Yes, my butt. These are just more stiff, and I felt like it was coming up the side of my hips. I have wide hips. It affects me. That's the soft text seats. And the cloth seat over here. The cloth seat has more give right here. And it's not as hard of a line. So if you have wider hips, you may hop in each one or hop in one and just get a general sense about how it feels on your leg muscle. But I like the stiffness here, and I feel like it's more, my butt spreads out better on this seat than it does the other one, of all butt things to talk about. Butts.
What, you want me to say it again?
Yeah.
So we're talking offline, and apparently I said something important. I mentioned that, so we were just in the, you know, the iForce version of the 4Runner. Now we're in the iForce Max, which is the hybrid. And we drove the iForce Max here on the highway, and I said that I thought that I could really hear the turbo, and it was a little bit buzzy. And not that that's bad. You know, I thought it did really well. It had smooth, seamless power, but it was just one of those things that was noticeable, and I'm not necessarily noticing it in this, I mean, we're going 2 miles an hour, but I'm not really noticing it here yet.
No, but that brings up a good question, which is why. So we just got out of the I-Force.
Yeah.
We're in I-Force Max. So basically, we got out of the turbo. We're in the hybrid. Let's just be less marketing mumbo jumbo. But it brings up a really good question. I want to drive this back to back, which I'm doing. When you're shopping for new 4Runner, the question is going to be for a lot of people, which one do you buy? Do you buy the hybrid or do you buy the regular turbo?
Yeah.
I think that's going to be a key question. And the other thing is, like, on some of these trim levels, the hybrid actually has worse fuel economy than the turbo. Or hybrid. People always make fun of how I say that term. I don't know.
It's fine.
It's a Michigan thing. Trust me. I go to Michigan, they all say the same way.
Yeah, and you know, I don't know, it's interesting. So, you know, and we should be clear, they're both turbo engines.
They're both turbo engines, yeah, but this is, the hybrid's got the battery, and
this is, so it's a 2.4 liter turbo hybrid. Hybrid? Now I'm going to be so like, hybrid. But so what's interesting, I think, is the power difference. This is 326 horsepower, and I'm going to point out on here, usually you see horsepower first and then torque second. They put the torque first.
Yeah.
So it's 465 pound-feet of torque and then 326 horsepower.
Which, a quick math top of my head, and I'll put numbers down below, it's about 100 difference between the two, and they both hit at pretty low RPMs. So this is 1700 RPM, so that means low speed crawling or low speed off-roading, the hybrid should do a better job with smoother power as it has more torque at a lower RPM.
Yeah.
At similar but lower torque. So
yeah,
you'd want this more for that, I would think. But it's interesting because most people hear hybrid and they think, oh, better fuel economy.
Nope.
But in Toyota's weird because in the Grand Highlander, you do get better fuel economy until you go to the Max hybrid. And the Camry is full hybrid and it gets better fuel economy. So, but just in the truck side, hybrid means different things.
Yeah, I feel like Toyota has a very interesting strategy with their hybrids. So they pretty much have a hybrid in like every vehicle they make at this point. And I think except for maybe the Supra and the like GR Corolla, so they're sports cars, they don't have a hybrid option. But what they have done is in their like volume seller family type vehicles, they've emphasized fuel efficiency. But in like toys, they've really kind of emphasized power.
Right.
And what I find interesting is you have like the Crown, which has two hybrid operating systems. One emphasizes fuel efficiency, the other emphasizes the power. And so they have two very clear and distinct strategies, and fuel efficiency isn't always the goal. So I think that's interesting.
Yeah, so I think if you're out there shopping, right, and you're trying to find the 4Runner for you, you got to ask yourself, how much time off-road do you plan on spending? And if you plan on spending quite a bit on pretty gnarly terrain, I think hybrid's the way to go because you want the more torque and you want the more power in those situations.
Right.
But if you find yourself doing just street driving and stuff like that, I think the turbo's fine. Now, the turbo did the same course I'm doing now with the hybrid, and I can tell the better performance of the hybrid, the more horsepower, or the more torque, excuse me, it makes a difference. Going up hills, going up stuff, I have that more low-end torque. So I think that's going to be the fundamental question. You can't say, hey, Tim, which ones I should get? Or Jill, you got to say, hey, what is your plan of driving? What do you plan on doing? What do you like doing? And then buy the powertrain matches that. Either one will do a fine job, but I think the hybrid does a better job as far as that goes.
We are in the SR5. We managed to get our hands briefly on the model that has the third row. One of the things we learned is the I-Force Max vehicles do not have third row option. So you have to have the gas only model if you want a third row. And let's take a quick look at how this works. Let's see, is there, like, I don't even know. I saw you do it.
Oh, it's over here.
Is it this?
Yep.
Okay. I'm like, I saw you do it, but I really wasn't paying attention. So you push this, and then it flips and tilts the seat completely forward. And I will say, I think this is plenty of room for me to get back here. And you just kind of do a step.
There's a step right here too. So
yeah.
Then it comes down.
And then, like, pulling this back into place. This is heavy. A child would not be able to do this. I'm just gonna put that out there.
And then there she is back there, and covered with the.
And I will say, like, I have a lot of room back here. I would be fairly comfortable. I like the fact that they only have 2 seats and the seats aren't touching. So like you wouldn't have to bump thighs with the person who's sitting next to you. And I don't know, I mean, all in all, I mean, my legs are pumped up off the seat, but I have plenty of leg room, plenty of knee room. And like these seats are reasonably comfortable. I think I could be comfortable back here. Maybe even for a road trip. However, I'm going to point something out to you. I was going to climb over this and here, but no, I'm not going to do that because these don't want to go down. The cargo area.
I'm trying to crawl around to see your legs.
Whee!
Yeah.
I have plenty of room.
Okay.
But if you're going to take a road trip with, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people, you're not fitting their luggage inside this vehicle.
Oh, no. Let me go around and get down here.
Oh.
Okay.
I will meet you over here. This is what I wanted to do. Like, this is, like, thank goodness for the net. I'm like, I'm not gonna, like, my hips are too wide to fit back here. I don't know if we could shut the door.
Yeah, you're gonna use the cargo rack on top for, we'll show you some graphics on that cargo rack on top.
Yeah, I don't even know that you could fit a set of golf clubs back here.
No.
You're like, no, I'm telling you no. Maybe you could like take your golf clubs out of the bag and stick them back here, but no.
Yeah. All right, if you forgot what the 4Runner looked like, here you go. Here is a first gen 4Runner. The original, KC lights in the front, gotta have that, Toyota spelled out there. So you're gonna do a quick kind of walk around on this. You guys enjoy it in all its glory. Roof comes off, same roll down back window. And then here's your quick look at the interior.
So this is the non-hybrid?
Right.
Okay, so this is the gas model.
Gas model, interesting. Again, we just did a comparison between the premium and non-premium. There is no cameras. There's no camera button, no hot button, whatever. So this would be an interesting experience. So this is...
Yeah, make me drive the more difficult one.
Well, your seat's all the way forward, so you can see
Love
a little
you.
bit better. Yeah. Yeah, so this is interesting. I saw a camera too.
I was like...
Yeah, thanks for that. One other thing we learned just 2 minutes ago, not even that, maybe a minute ago, was the tires are different. So on the hybrid, there are Michelins. On the non-hybrid, there are Falcon Wild Peaks. So a different tire as well. He said it's something to do a little bit more better resistance. So a little bit better.
Does it really not have? I thought it had a front camera.
No.
I will try not to get you killed.
Thank you.
But, I mean, you can really see, like, I'm literally looking at air right now. You can really see, like, why cameras are so helpful in off-road situations.
So let's talk about these cameras. So they turn off or turn on at different speeds. And some brands do it differently, and I found out the reason for that.
Okay.
And the reason is that GM and Ford went to NHTSA, and they argued that it was actually safer to have the cameras on at all speeds, and it was overriding the distracting factor. So it was kind of interesting that they were like, they argued successfully, and because it was a law that cameras had to turn off because they looked as distractionary devices, looking at the camera.
Right.
And they were able to argue that. But not every brand has adopted that same argument,
right,
and made the change. And so at 10 miles an hour, the camera turns off in the 4Runner.
Right.
But I do know that there's some aftermarket companies working on some things that override some of that stuff. But yeah, I mean, not different brands do different things. Some aftermarket companies work different ways. But that's the reason why these cameras turn on or turn off. Is it's a NHTSA, which is National Highway Traffic Safety Administration requirement because of distraction. Which is interesting because you and I talk about this all the time. about how big these screens become.
Yeah.
And we have people say, well, it's a big screen, it's distracting to see, right? I think in the case of 4Runner, the screen's down a little bit lower, it doesn't stand out so much as, like, say, the Tundra.
Right.
And I don't have that same concerns, but it does create the question, is this less distracting with the screen on? Or I got to keep pressing the camera button because I have some sky views, right? You come over the hill, you can't see shit.
Right.
Stuff. And you have to press the button, but yeah.
No, and you know, being in a city situation, I always appreciate having the cameras on at higher speeds because, especially when you're in a wider vehicle, like, and Chicago has bike lanes out the wazoo,
Right.
and so I want to make sure that I'm not like driving in the bike lane, and so you can turn these cameras on and you can make sure that you are centered in the lane lines, you know, especially like I said with wide vehicles.
Yeah, so I'm going to show you what this camera looks like. So this is the dealio, but so we're looking at the stuff. So this is my viewpoint, right? I can't see anything except for rocks. I press the camera button, and now I can see. And then they have the lines here. This is the outer lines for the wheels.
Yep.
You can see your line marks, and then it does reverse as well. You can turn it turns to auto mode too. Different situations, like if you're pulling in someplace, it'll turn on.
Like if you get a little bit close to a barrier.
Yeah.
Yep.
So my stomach is like in my throat, so we're gonna go over this hill. So yeah, but so the cameras, the kind of long-winded to say is that off-roading, the cameras do a really good job, and the cities do a really good job. I think it's one of the innovations in vehicles in the past 10 years that I would argue is a good innovation.
Yeah, I agree, and I mean, I just really think that I would love to see the cameras stay on at higher speeds, and I always, you know, and I guess it makes sense that Toyota hasn't yet adopted that because they tend to be a little bit more of a conservative brand.
They are.
You know, they're exploring, you know, the safety, the issues, and the potential ramifications of leaving it on before they make the change, which, I mean, I can respect that.
Yeah, no, it makes a lot of sense.
I mean, I appreciate General Motors and Ford having the cameras on, but I also respect caution.
One more note on these cameras is we have an auto button, which we turned on. So what auto does is as you get close to obstacles, it turns on the camera. We talked a little bit about that, but here's the deal. At 10 miles an hour, the camera turns off. So 10 miles an hour, I'm not doing it. Camera turns off, goes to the map screen, then flips back on at like 8 miles an hour when you get close to an obstacle. So it's a little bit distracting when it flips on, flips off. And then you have another mode here. This is the off-road mode, but turn it off. There's surround view camera. This is more for like city driving.
Navigating the alley in Chicago.
Yeah, I've seen those videos.
Uh,
All right, wrapping this video up in the SR5, the bargain basement $40,000 SUV, turbocharged engine, 0 to 60 was decent.
Decent enough to knock off the camera.
This camera, man. It works really well, it doesn't work, so let's see.
Stay!
Stay. Darn camera problems. You know what I'll do? I'll do this real fast. I'm going to take my other phone and show you. This is the interior. This is the analog screen. There's your smaller 8-inch display. Heated seats, non-cool seats, no dual climate control. And then this is no buttons. You have nothing here. This is all blank. So this is the bargain basement SR5 with cloth seats. And like I said earlier, I think the cloth seats work better for my butt.
You know, I generally like cloth seats better, I'll be honest.
So
they're tracking us.
Oh, they're tracking us. Yeah, so I mean, plenty of get up and go. The biggest difference is the amenities inside the cabin, I think.
Yeah.
I don't see many other differences with this, but it is. I was talking to another journalist earlier. It is nice to see a $40,000 base vehicle at a drive program like this, and this is a volume seller for them. So this is what you'll probably see your neighbors getting more often than not.
Yeah, and what I think is really great about the 4Runner is on the outside, I mean, unless you're looking at the Trailhunter or the TRD Pro, like, you're not going to see, like, crazy differences.
Right.
Like, a 4Runner is a 4Runner is a 4Runner. And, I mean, you'll see some different badging, but it's not, like, horrible steely wheels or, you know, a rear, like, plastic bumper. You know, it just, like, it looks really nice and clean and similar across the board. You know, obviously with the Trail Hunter, you're gonna have like the snorkel and bronze wheels, and TRD Pro, you're gonna have some different like badging and more aggressive things. But I like the fact that, you know, at a glance, you know, it's probably gonna be a little bit more difficult to tell what it was. It's on the inside that you're gonna see the differences, but to me,
and that really is where it matters.
yeah, I mean, but so to me, like, the interior of this $41,000 4Runner is not bad. And I actually appreciate the fact that it doesn't have a wireless charger, because, by the way, the wireless charger in Toyota vehicles does not work. It overheats your phone. So, I mean, you have a place to put your phone, you wire in, and, you know, I don't know, you've got trays and places to put your phone. You've got a USB port right here. You've got 2 USB ports there. So wire in, set your phone in the tray, and
yeah,
I think that's better than the wireless charger.
I was looking at the steering wheel. It tilts and telescopes at this price point.
Yep. And I like the manual seats better, because I feel like I can pump up a little bit higher and I feel a little bit more comfortable. And I know you did your butt portion of the video talking about how the seats fit your butt. But I mean, even somebody on the smaller side of things, I will say, I think these seats are more comfortable for me as well. They're just like, they're not as firm, and you know, they have like a little bit more give. And I like cloth heated seats. But I mean, base trim with heated seats.
Yeah, no, I think that definitely the case that while I like the other trims, I like the platinum and things, I wouldn't be disappointed with an SR5 base trim.
Yeah, and I was looking to see if the Monroney or the sticker sheet was in here anywhere. That's when I found our tracker, and I don't see it in here.
No, pre-prototype, but it starts at like 40,000. So this one with the...
In the other vehicles, they had stickers.
Oh, that's right, they did.
Yeah, and so I was looking for that, I didn't see it.
Oh, so low 40s.
Yeah, yeah.
Low 40s.
Yeah.
All right, there you go. Hey, for more videos on the two of us, if you do want to watch more of that stuff, it's completely up to you. Make sure you watch them up over here. Website down below as well, pickuptrucktalk.com. And check that out on the website. But as always, thanks for watching. We will see you down the road.